Hello Aquarius, Elsie here to do a reading for you. How are you, Aquarius? Thank you so much for clicking here. I'm here to do a 9-card read to see what's coming up for you in the near future. Let's find out what's going on. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter signs. Happy Mother's Day. Late, of course, if you do celebrate. I hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day. And at the end of this video, I am going to tell you how to find the extended. I'm also going to tell you about private reads. Make sure everything's in the right way here. There we go. All right. I'll tell you about that at the end of the video. Let's find out what's going on for you, Aquarius, in this 9-card read, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter signs. Tell me about Aquarius. We have the Knight of Cups. We have the Hanged Man in the reverse. And we have the World card. Aquarius, it feels like you've had some sort of a realization or an aha moment. When the Hanged Man is in the reverse, it's because you've come to the realization of something. When we're hanging in this energy, in the Hanged Man energy, it's because we're looking for an answer, trying to see something from a different perspective, trying to gain perspective, or wondering, what am I going to have to sacrifice in order to be able to have what I want? What I think you want is something to do with the heart space. It does feel like something that has to do with emotions or maybe a romantic feeling of something. It could be just the heart space, though. It feels like something that's going to make your heart happy. We do have the World card, and the World card is also an indication that you're going to have to leave somewhere, leave something, close a chapter, move across the world. I don't know what it is, but it feels like you've come to a realization that your heart is elsewhere, or there is something that that makes you feel something. And I would say, in order to get it, you've come to the perspective that you've got to sacrifice something, and that means closing a chapter. So it does mean closing a chapter for good. So you're leaving somewhere, maybe going somewhere across the world, or coming home from being across the world. Let's find out what else is going on here. We've got the 10 of Cups in the reverse. We've got the 2 of Pentacles here, and we've got the 8 of Swords. So it does feel like you've been thinking about this for a while. The 2 of Pentacles tells me you're trying to find you're trying to make a decision which is going to leave you in balance. It feels like you've been sort of going back and forth on something. The 10 of Cups in the reverse to me is disillusionment. So it does feel like, should I try this again? It didn't work before. I thought it was going to be the 10 of Cups. I thought it was going to be something lovely and wonderful, but it just ended up not being that. This is the disillusionment of the 10 of Cups, which is in the reverse. So maybe you've already been in some sort of a long-term relationship, or you've been married or something like that. When the 10 of Cups is in the reverse for me, all the emotion and the joy has poured out of it, and it just became essentially another task that you had to juggle in your day. The 8 of Swords is here. So the thing is that even though you've had your perspective, even though you've had your aha moment or your enlightenment, it feels like you're still sort of stuck in the head about, should I close the chapter? Should I leave where I am? Should I go across the world? Should I come back from across the world? Whatever way it's working for you. But this is really an accomplishment and a milestone. So I feel like really the accomplishment or the milestone is going to be you getting out of your head and making the decision. I do feel like it has something to do with emotions. We'll just look a little bit deeper here, see what kind of emotions they are. I feel like you felt left down, like that you felt that you were left feeling disillusioned about love relationships or family relationships. It feels like something didn't work out. So we could be talking about a family thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be love, right? Take it as it resonates for you. We do have the 8 of Pentacles. We have the 4 of Wands, and we have the 10 of Swords. So it does feel like, I don't know why I'm getting the word nomad. It feels like you've been nomadic for a while. It feels, and I'm not saying that you've been living out of boxes or living in a shack or living in a car. I mean, you could be someone who's doing van life, but I feel like you've been nomadic for a while, and it almost feels like you're wanting to settle down somewhere. That's what it feels like here, because the 4 of Wands is here, and that is, you know, getting some sort of stability, growing some roots, and getting a partner, and maybe being in a mood or a mode of celebration. That's what it feels like here. it feels as though you're sort of the idea that no matter how hard I work on it, Elsie, it's going to go upside down. No matter how hard I work really hard for the home, for the stability, for the happiness, to work on the relationship, and I always seem to get betrayed or hurt. And so I feel like you're about to embark on something like this again, but you're wary because it didn't work last time and you were betrayed emotionally, which gave you this sort of, I'm going to say, upside down view of what an actual functional relationship is supposed to be. I feel like you're a person that once you get in, you're all the way in and you work really hard. But I think that you're very wary, and so I feel like although you've gotten this revelation or perspective, I think that because the Hanged Man is looking over at the Knight of Cups, that you're trying to get a different, or maybe you've gotten a different perspective on romantic things or things of the heart space. So I'm going to put down 2 cards here. We're going to find out what is going on underneath the surface. We've got the 5 of Swords. So underneath the surface, you're really battling yourself. So swords and swords, right? You're really battling your thought pattern, trying to get out of a place in your mind that you've put yourself. It feels like you feel like your hands are tied. The only way that you're going to be able to get what your heart wants is by ending a chapter. And to me, it feels like moving. It feels like you've got to move closer, move further away. This feels like you have to end the chapter of where you are. Something has to come to a total end, but also you must stop overthinking it. You must just go with it. You have to stop overthinking it. But I think you have good reason to overthink it, Aquarius. I think you do. We've got the High Priestess. So I think that what you're trying to do is trying to stop overthinking it, trying to stop battling the mind, and I think you're trying to go with your intuition. Let's talk about this Hanged Man. What is the realization, the aha moment, or this moment of perspective? It's like you found your answer, or you found your perspective. We've got the Queen of Cups. We've got the Star. And we've got the 7 of Cups. So I think that even though you've had a bad experience in the past, it feels as though you've healed from that. The thing is that I really feel that you're wanting connection, like deep, abiding, emotional, loving connection. And I don't think you're able to find it. It feels like the things that you find are temporary. They go back and forth and back and forth. It's like nothing can really get solidified. You're always the one that ends up keeping the balance in everything. The 7 of Cups is here. So I'm going to say, Aquarius, I think you're spoiled for choice. Like, I don't think that you have a hard time finding a person. I feel like you attract people. I feel like you don't have a problem attracting people because you're manifesting and you're hopeful, and I don't think you have a problem attracting people. I think the problem comes is in the long term, because you're a long-term thinker, right? You're a person that once I'm in, and I'm going to make this work no matter what. So it does feel like with the Queen of Cups here, that you are compassionate and loving and kind, and people are attracted to that in you. You are in fact the humanitarian, right? No matter where Aquarius shows up in your big 3 or 5, you are of a humanitarian nature. And so I feel that a lot of people are attracted to that. So it's not like you don't have any obvious choices. It's just that you've got so many choices. Which one do I pick? Because I feel like you are in this place of, I don't know, the 10 of Cups being in the reverse. Tell me why it is. Tell me why it's so. We've got the 4 of Swords. So I feel like you are trying to understand, get clarity of, and trying to heal from the last relationship that went upside down, and all of the emotion or joy was poured out here. We do have the 9 of Wands, and that particular situation, I think it was in the past, made you feel to be the wounded warrior. The wounded warrior energy here tells me that maybe you've been single for a while. Look at all of that ivy growing around that person's foot. Ivy only grows in places where things have been standing for hundreds of years. You look at castles in Ireland and Scotland, places like that. Ivy grows in places where nothing has moved for centuries, right? And so I feel like you've been standing in the same spot for a while, trying to heal, trying to get clarity, trying to understand, get clarity of the mind, and figure out how can I find some sort of romantic connection without it going topsy-turvy again, without it going upside down. We've got the Sun. I feel like you've had a realization here, and the realization is that you can't live your life in burnout about relationships. It's a lonely place. And although you are a lone ranger, I don't think that you mind being alone, but I think you would prefer having a partner at your side. I just don't think you're willing to go through up to the 9 of Wands again. I think that you're very close to meeting someone, because after the 9 is the 10. And once you put down this burden that you've been carrying around about healing, once you put that burden down, then I feel like the Sun shows up and it's a happier day. Things are clearer. You have a breakthrough. Things are a little happier, and it feels like something is revealed to you as well about why this last relationship didn't work. Let's talk about the 8 of Swords. I feel like you feel that you have no other choice but to close the door to something and move away from it, or move, maybe you're here meaning wherever you live now, and you feel like you must close a chapter and move around the world. It feels like you really want to get far away from something, or you're willing to make the biggest change or biggest sacrifice you have to in order to reach a milestone or to reach some sort of an achievement. And we've got the Empress. We've got the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands is here. I kind of like when the 10 of Wands is here, because although it's definitely burdensome, it feels like this is the right time to drop the burden. I feel like you've been carrying around a burden about an Empress. And please understand, the Empress can be masculine or of feminine energy, because it's Taurus and Libra. Taurus is a feminine energy. Libra is a masculine energy. So it does feel as though you've been carrying around a burden, thinking about a certain person over and over and over again. I think that this person was very kind to you, or very loving, or very giving. This person is somebody who I feel that you feel very grounded around. This person is very kind and is always trying to help and overgive to people. This is somebody who's actually okay by themselves as well. So this is sort of a safe bet for you. Somebody masculine or feminine who is in their Empress energy is someone who really doesn't need you. So somebody who is building a business, building a life, creating children, creating pathways, helping people. This is somebody who I feel is very kind and always giving. I feel like you're carrying around the burden about this person. You feel like your hands are tied. Something may have happened between you and this person, but it feels like you're in your head overthinking, thinking about them constantly. That's what it feels like here. And then we have the Ace of Wands. So I do feel that you really do want to take action. When the 10 of Wands is in the room, the Ace is not far behind all the time, because we go to the end of the cycle and we begin again. So I feel like once you have dropped your burden, when I say drop your burden, I think that you're missing someone, or you just can't get them off your mind. You can't stop thinking about them. I feel like you're ready to pursue them, or you're ready to take action. It feels like that's why you're probably closing this door. So either you're leaving a relationship, leaving the place where you live to go back home, or you're leaving home to go to this place. Whatever it is, it feels like you're ready to take action. You're excited about it here. Tell me why the 4 of Wands is here. We've got the Page of Cups. We've got the Judgment card, and we've got the Death card. The Judgment card's been showing up a lot this week. So we have the Judgment card. I feel like this is something that this thought pattern, I feel, won't stop. It won't stop bothering you. It keeps coming back round. The Judgment card is whatever's meant for you will never pass you by. So if it's meant for you, look, you're not going to get forced into it unless the Tower is around. And I don't see the Tower just yet. But you're not going to get forced into it. But the universe is going to keep calling and calling and calling. It's like if you were to be at home and somebody just kept ringing your phone and ringing your phone and ringing your phone. It's going to get irritating after a while, and you just finally just want to say, fine, I'll just take a look at it. I'll look it in the eye, because if I don't take a chance or look it in the eye, I am going to, it's going to make me crazy, right? If the phone doesn't stop ringing. I feel like the Judgment is, the universe keeps calling you. So asking you to turn around and look at something that you missed, something that's behind you, something you left behind. But also it's time for you to head to another path. And that's why I think that the World card is here. So I think you are considering answering the call. And I think you're going to do it in a moment when not even you expect it. I've got the Page here, the Page of Cups. This could also mean that possibly in order to get this back on track, that you have to offer an apology or that you want an apology. But I think that the Four of Wands is telling me that you feel very close to this Empress. You feel like soulmate connection, or that when you're around this person, they make you feel very stable, very secure, which is really the sort of the energy that emits from the Empress, because the Empress doesn't really need anything, therefore doesn't make friends, relationships, or anything like that out of necessity. When the Empress goes in, the Empress really does just want to be present and be there and help any way that they can. So I feel like you are thinking about transforming your life by turning around and going a different way or taking a different path, because you're about to listen or answer the call to resurrect something. So you might already know the Empress here. I feel like the answer when it comes will even surprise you. That's what it feels like. I think even you will be surprised that you are about to do this, about to make this drastic change, this drastic move here. Look, we're going to go into the extended. We've got the Hierophant on the bottom of the deck, and we have the Three of Cups. I think you want a reunion to talk about some sort of commitment. Now, this doesn't have to be marriage, right? But it could be something that is committed long term. It could be something that you're interested in committing to long term, and you see the value in it now. There it is, Two of Cups. It really does feel like it's an emotionally connected kind of thing, because the first card out is always the strongest, and we've got the Knight of Cups. And I don't always feel the Knight of Cups as romance or connection through emotions. I don't always feel it, but I did this time. So if you would like to come to the extension and watch me pull all this apart and find out what the outcome is, then please look at the comments. Above the comments, there's one pinned comment, and when you click on that comment, you will open a whole bunch of stuff there, and there's two links there. One for the membership area if you want to see the extended, and there's also a link there for a private read. So if you're interested in a private read, please know they're still available. I am caught up. Now would be the greatest time to book if you wanted to do that. And I do have readings that begin at $25 and go up from there. I'm going to go into the extended. Hope to see you there. But if I don't, that's okay, because I'll be back. I'm always back. Take care, Aquarius. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.